Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. So, today we are yet in another Japanese premium tier 4 plane, the J2M5. Now, I want to introduce you to the general idea of what I'm currently doing. I am still grinding for the Mitsubishi T2. I'm still convinced that I rather take the penalty of grinding with a tier 4 premium, a tier 6 plane, rather than going through the madness of Jet RB, although I have some funny battles here and there. The next thing is, you actually should see this video first. However, on Friday I played this game and I wanted to render it. Then I saw that I had made a mistake in the rendering. So I saved the entire edit and just fixed the little part. But I couldn't stay to finish the rendering and take the video home to upload it at home as planned, because I had a very important meeting and so I couldn't really finish it. So I saved everything. And now I'm back, and I recorded then the match in the A6M5 Co first, which was the recording that I tried to render at home. But then the render software at home said nope, and always collapsed and always, failed. And so I was like, okay, let's do it on the other system that I have in my little flat here. And then, then the recording in the flat, or the editing software, didn't want to process or render the saved editing of this match, but I still had the raw recording, so I'm redoing the commentary. Okay, so here I am. And both battles have a similar taste to them. Aside from that, I grind with those premium planes for the Japanese planes. Let's talk about the armament of those Japanese planes. And let's have a look at the tech tree. So first of all, the rather rare Kia 94-2 is a nice looking plane. And it has some great armament, but it is not a premium, so not that efficient at grinding. That's just how it is. The premium B-17E, well, it is one of my favorite bombers to play, but rather inefficient for grinding. And with 6 1,000 pound bombs at battle rating 5.3, there is not that much tech that you can do. And B-17s are not pretty allergic to only German 20mm, but also American 50 cals, and you will fight them pretty often. Then there is the A6M5 Co. A very nice plane, but I don't want to overplay it, because it is one of my favorites. It's a bit weird in that context, but believe me, it makes sense. And so I wanted to try out something else. And there was then the option between the J2M4 Kai, which is a nice plane, I guess, but it's just not working for me, and it only has 20mm, and they have some issues currently. And the Kia 87, well, the weaponry is nice, but the plane just doesn't really work all that well at that battle rating. It's a nice plane, it can work, but I want to try out something new. And the J2M5 is a plane that I've made literally only one video about. And yeah, it's a battle rating 4.7 plane with only two 30mm Type 5 cannons with only 84 rounds. That is not a lot. So, I want you to try it out. Does it work? Is it worth going for? And are the 30mm really so much better than the 20mm that you can work with only those 84 rounds on a daily basis? So here, the clash of the German planes, both lose. What a surprise. Sorry guys. And yeah, there is this PBJ, and I'm a little bit impatient here. Normally I should continue climbing and I should fight the fighters, but actually this is an anti-bomber plane, and the other J2M and the Zero, they probably are not that well equipped, quite literally, to deal with the PBJ. I can take probably some 50 cals. The Zero shouldn't be able to do so, aside from what you have seen in the last match. And have you heard this? That is an epic gun sound that I absolutely love. And the PBJ goes down after just 1 or 2 hits, which is really promising. Is this now overperforming, underperforming? Has the plane previously taken damage from the attacks? Well, it kind of has, but have I hit him there where it then was very efficient to hit him? Doesn't matter, I got the kill. But now I found myself in a rather bad situation. Well, it's not extremely bad, but it's not one of my favorite situations. I am not a dedicated turn fighter. I'm not a Zero, I'm not a Spitfire. and then there are some enemies that are now way above me. So if they would go for me, I'd be in trouble. Look, the plane can go fast, it can go really fast, but it doesn't really feel all that fast, and it lacks the acceleration, at least to a satisfying degree where I would be able to say I think I can work with that. But that's just me, it's a little bit of personal preference here. So I still try to reclimb, and I think the second I then have enough distance and I feel safe, I will turn around and help my team in dogfighting. That's at least the plan. And I didn't waste all that much ammunition, only 12 30mm shells, so 6 shells per guns were wasted on that. Not wasted, but were used on that first kill. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, so let's now turn back and let's re-engage the enemy. The funny thing with many enemy players is very often that they have the altitude advantage, but then they fail to keep it. They want to go for the easy kills that are below them. Look at this P-51. He has the higher altitude above the 0, but he doesn't really execute the boom and zoom strategy all that well. The same goes with the Spitfire and the F6F. They just really don't maintain their altitude, maybe for the first boom and zoom attack, but then they become really way too impatient. They don't plan ahead, and now the A7M and another 0 are above them. The one thing that you don't want to see in a boom and zoom fighter is a turn fighter above you boom and zooming you, because there are not that many options really left, so yeah, there is that. Now you can see, now I have to dive. I expected the enemies to just stay at altitude a bit longer. But then the A7, the A6 and the Focke-Wulf died to them. So that is where I really now have to make the difference here. And I have the choice between the F6F and the Spitfire, and I'm kind of not sure for which I would go for. Now, the F6F just is presenting itself the closer target right now, and let's see what those 30mm do versus a low flying target. And few hits and one critical hit, and I can't get with that speed the guns on the Spitfire, so I have to zoom through and hope that the Spitfire doesn't turn around. I hit the F6F, but he was still able to claim yet another kill, and this time it was the A7M1. So was that my fault? Didn't I really pump enough shells into him? I expected the 30mm to do a better job. Now I have the choice between the F7F to finish it or to go for the Spitfire. F6F goes into a bad angle. Spitfire is the better target, and only the fourth shot cuts off his wing. And I turn now around because it looks like the F6F has some severe engine problems, and now I try to finish him off. The plane is not a dedicated turn fighter, but it's not really that sluggish. And then a few hits later, this plane is dead as well. So I'm only left with a handful of shots, 20, that's 10 per gun, and I don't really feel comfortable continuing the fight. This is where I cut now 5 minutes out, and where I return to base, and now repaired, rearmed, refuel, and now I'm back in the skies. So now the enemy has activated the order Blind Hunt, which is a shame because you can use such an order only once, and the enemy has activated it. So that is not good, but I'm not the target, gladly. Funnily enough, it's actually our guy on the airfield, which makes him now the least affected of it. And I try to hide myself in the clouds, and then I expect the enemy to appear sooner or later, and maybe we can play some 4D underwater chess in the clouds with them once again. And we can play yet another minigame, Spot the Dots in the Clouds. So here we have an accumulation of many broken things. We have the broken graphics of War Thunder, Spot the Dot. Then we have the broken orders, which are Avenger and Blind Hunt, in conjunction then with the broken airfield anti-aircraft artillery. So what could possibly go wrong? Oh, the tears of irony. So I try to communicate here with my team. I'm fiddling around a little bit with manual engine control, and then also I want to just spot those dots. Are the enemies near me? Do I hear them? What are their plans? Are there any sort of messages appearing in the combat chat? Anything like this? So, you are the chosen one. Why are you running? That means he needs to be close. And he's coming high up above airfield. This is what I communicate to him so that he knows that he is targeted. I see the dot roughly here. I don't know if you can see it in the YouTube video. Maybe the contrast is not as good as it was in the game. Maybe the resolution is not good enough. I don't know, but I see the dot. I see that he goes for him. And so the J2M does the only one thing that he can do. He circles near the airfield. And sooner than later, the enemy appears. There is the P-47M. And yeah, I told him he's behind you, so he does some evasive actions. And the P-47 executes a very nice boom and zoom run. And then tragedy happens. P-51D kills the A-7M1. We're roughly in the middle of the map, I guess. So I try now to boom and zoom the P-47, and you can see how slow the closing distance is, despite him getting at a certain angle away. Again, this has to do with the plane feeling slow, lacking a little bit the acceleration, in my opinion. That's just the feeling of it. I cannot verify it. I cannot, claim here any numbers, but that's just how it feels game after game. I tried to snap here the P-47N. Which is an awesome plane by itself, but he flies either through my shots or I missed him entirely, and again, I don't have that much ammunition. So Signal shot sniping, and again I think I can get off a burst. He's like a kilometer away. Come on again. And the second I pull the trigger, he crashes. Ugh. Really? Ugh. So there is only one enemy alive versus us two. The J2M is on the airfield. I don't know if he has sustained damage. He seems to be in need of repairs. Yeah, and there is the communication in chat, which is mandatory. And where is the P-51? I don't know. Is he in the clouds? Is he returning back to base? Where do I have to position myself? My best bet was that I need to go back to the airfield to play fight the support. And there is the P-51. I want to win this match, and there he is, and he wants to go into the head-on. But I want to win this match, and so Banzai! I sacrifice myself and get the kill just seconds before. We both are dead, and the enemy team has a ticket advantage, but it doesn't matter, because the last man standing is the one that wins the match. And so my sacrifice for the fourth kill, but also for winning the game, was what won us the game. And yeah, that is what I wrote in chat. So is the plane worth it? I don't know, I don't think so. But it's far from useless, and with decent aim, that is, and good shell registration, it can kill enemies. And I think it is a good thing if you target big fat bombers. So yeah, this is 102,000 civilians and 9,300 vehicle research points, and that's with the penalty. So a nice plane indeed, and a nice match. And I hope you enjoyed that sacrifice as much as I enjoyed playing it. First in team, and that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies of War Thunder.